there a Torah source for the existence of dinosaurs?
I'm not qualified to answer that question at all. I'm not qualified to answer that question. The Rebbe, in his letters, makes it clear that it is his position that the world is literally as old as the biblical chronology allow for. In other words, we don't play the hula hoops of many worlds piled on top of one another in time. The Arizal says that all of the worlds that are described in Kabbalah, besides for ours, are Kabbalistic worlds, not physical world. In other words, the world is literally less than 6,000 years old. The universe is less than 6,000 years old, which of course creates an enormous problem with biology and species and strata and fossils and so on. When the Rebbe addressed this question, he never explained the biblical version of history scientifically. He simply argued that there is no science that can categorically prove that it's false. That nothing science says can say that this is absolute proof to what the Torah says is false. The Torah can still be true according to science. As far as dinosaurs go, I saw in a letter where the Rebbe says two possibilities. One possibility is that dinosaurs never existed and that God Almighty created an old world. The Torah says that at the moment of creation the world was complete. And one way of understanding complete is that the world was created in 6 days in a way that could appear to have been created in a much slower pace if it had actually happened slower. But the world was created very quickly. We believe in 6 days of creation, where each day is a literal 24-hour day. By the way, there's a Ramban that says the same thing. And that he planted fossils that would reflect what would happen if the world had aged. So from this perspective, dinosaurs never existed. But then the Rebbe also says it's possible that they did exist. But if they did exist, they existed within the span of the 6,000 years of existence as Torah sees it. In other words, before the flood.